Hi there, welcome to 10 quick tips to improve your photography. Tip number 7, uh, watching the background, what's in the background. Tip number 6 was what's the light hitting, and now we're gonna be talking about the background. And if you'd like to get all these tips in a free downloadable PDF, visit my website, visualverse.thecreationspeaks.com. visualverse.thecreationspeaks.com, and you can download it there. And while you're there, don't forget to check out my devotional, Drawing Near, Meeting God in His Creation. So let's dive right into backgrounds here. First, we're going to start with some flowers. I like to take flowers in our front yard. We have a lot of landscaping in the front yard and the backyard. And when I take pictures of the flowers, I make sure I'm not seeing the house, or in the front flowers, in case the front flowers, the cars, or the driveway, or the retaining wall, or the neighbor's house. I try to put back there I look to put behind it a raccoon just ran by the path I'm on. Where's my camera? So that was kind of funny. But let's go on. I'm out in nature. So yeah, getting back to the photographs of my flowers in the front. Yeah, I just like to make sure I'm getting a floral background, a clean background, a green background. Also, we grow blueberries in the front yard as well, and I like to photograph the blueberries too. And this photograph is taken in the fall with a little snow in there, and you get to see the background is natural looking, but I could have did better. And I looked some more as I looked around, and I looked and saw this with just the snow this underneath it. And I took a photograph of these leaves, and the background is snow. You can see that it makes a much cleaner background than the other background. And so, yeah, when I'm taking pictures in the front yard, I don't want to get things like driveways and houses in the picture, and same with the backyard. I don't want to get houses and garden fences and things like that. I just look for the flower. Also, when we photograph people, we really want to watch our background. One thing we don't want to do when we photograph people is have like something sticking out of their head, just like that, if we could avoid it. But one thing we really want to do to help with people is to blur the background by using an aperture of 4.0 or 2.8. If you know about these things. If you don't know about these things, just look for your background to be clean and keep your subject off your background. Here's a family portrait. Natural settings work great for portraits, and you can see this is a natural setting, but they're not directly on the background. Often I see pictures where photographers put people right on the background. Now, you could see too many details in that background. You want to take them maybe 15 feet away from that background, and use a good shallow depth of field. You could see that here in this portrait of the mother and daughter. Good shallow depth of field. The background is blurred, and it works out really well. Now, another photograph I took of a man, we were doing a family portrait for him, but he wanted a photograph for his business as well. And we were out by a lake, and I said, hey, let's go stand by the lake. Because when we stood by the lake, we had we used a 2.8 as my aperture. We blurred out the background, and it was just really like a seamless background, very professional looking photograph. And even with wildlife, you want to have the same effect often. Here's a photograph of a portrait of a whooping crane, really tight in, and you can see that's just a really clean background, and you focus on the bird. The background's not distracting, it's not detracting from the subject. It just works really good. Now this is an egret on the shore of a lake. Now you can see the background here, and the background in this photograph is just helping tell the story more. So sometimes we want to use that background to help tell stories of environment and what's going on and things like that. So you can use the background in that way. Another type of photography you want to watch your background is sports. You really want to have what we call that shallow depth of field, that clean background. Here's a baseball player, and you can see those that clean background where we just focus on the player and not what's behind them. So finally, let's look at this cross photograph. With this is a beautiful cross, a beautiful sunset, and then there's this plaza across the street from it. Well, eliminate that plaza. We can do that in a couple different ways. Simply by taking a horizontal photograph, gets rid of the plaza, doesn't it? It's gone. Or we can take that vertical photograph if that's what we want, and we could either not photograph the plaza in it or simply crop it out, because having a good background is critical. So it's not busy, it's not distracting, it's not detracting from our subject. So and also that's important with our relationship with God. We want to see God clearly. We got to think about what's in the background of our lives, what's going on there, what's detracting us from God. Make sure we've got a clean look at God in our life. Study His Word, pray, keep ourselves before Him, and draw near to Him out in creation. So there you have it. There's tip number 7, watching the background. If you want all these tips in a free PDF, don't forget to visit my website, visualverse.thecreationspeaks.com, visualverse.thecreationspeaks.com. And also while you're there, don't forget to check out my book, my devotional, Drawing Near, Meeting God in His Creation. It's filled with photographs of God's creation, Bible verses about nature, and devotional thoughts to help you draw near to God. So yeah, check it out, and we will draw near.